Throughout history, leaders have often played an active role in leading their armies into battle. From ancient times to the early modern period, the sight of a ruler on the front lines was a common occurrence. This practice cut across different cultures and eras. Figures like Pharaoh Thutmose III to Napoleon Bonaparte were never afraid to lead the battle. This participation in warfare was seen as a symbol of their courage, commitment to their troops, and allegiance to the nation. Modern-day leaders have taken up a different approach. They do not participate in direct warfare anymore. This is down to the advancements in modern warfare technology like the long-range weaponry and remote communication, which has changed the dynamics of warfare. In today's video, we will talk about an African president who was an active participant in his country's military operations. He was killed in 2021 while on the front lines against insurgents in his homeland. Hello my wonderful viewers, thanks for picking an interest in my video. If you are enjoying the video so far, hit the like button and drop a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Let's get back to the video. Idris Deby Itno was born in 1952 in a town called Fada in the former colony of French Equatorial Africa. This French colony later became the countries of Central African Republic, Chad, Gabon, and the Republic of Congo. Idris was part of the Zagawa ethnic group from northeastern Chad. Idris was a French-trained soldier who earned his military license from a French military school in 1976, and then proceeded to align himself with Hissène Habré in his country's ongoing civil war. Recognizing his talents for military administration, Hissène Habré made him the commander of the armed forces after the civil war had been won. By 1989, the relationship between Hissène Habré and Idris Deby had turned sour. Deby was forced to leave the capital and he took up sanctuary in the Darfur region of neighboring Sudan because of the accusations of plotting to overthrow the government. He was able to draw reinforcements from his supporters to attack Habré's forces, and by 1990, Deby was able to force Habré to withdraw from the capital N'Djamena, allowing Deby and his supporters to grab governmental power. Idris Deby would go on to become one of Africa's longest-serving presidents. He stayed in power from 1990 to his death in 2021. Like most African leaders of his generation, his presidency didn't meet up with the aspirations of his people. The country faced significant economic challenges despite being rich in petroleum, gold, titanium, and uranium. Statistics show that close to a staggering 63% of the nation lives in abject poverty, and only 32% of the population is literate. With the country run the way it was by Deby, with the full backing of France, it is of no surprise that the country witnessed numerous armed resistance against his rule. In 2008, rebel forces cut through Chad's capital and laid siege to the presidential palace. The rebel force attacking N'Djamena was a coalition of three groups led by Timan Edemi, a close relative of Deby, and Mohamed Nouri, a former defense minister. Being a French-trained soldier and having the full support of France, Deby was able to get the assistance of French special forces and re-established his authority over Chad. By August 2014, France announced a military operation in the Sahel region of Africa, codenamed Operation Barkhane. The operation was carried out under the guise of being an anti-insurgent operation in the region and was operational in the countries of Burkina Faso, Chad, Mali, Mauritania, and Niger. This French military force was used to support the regimes in these countries, and through Chad's participation, Idriss Déby's power in his country was protected for years to come. Being a military officer, Idriss Déby never shied away from direct involvement in military operations against the insurgents and even terrorist organizations like the Boko Haram. During the presidential elections of 2021, that saw Idriss Déby elected president for the sixth time, a rebel force called FACT, that is, the Front for Change and Concord in Chad, which was founded in 2016, disrupted voting in northern Chad. The organization was founded by dissident Chadian officers and had grown in influence in the Fezzan and even participated in the Libyan civil war. The major object of FACT, as its name implies, is to impart change in the government of the Republic of Chad. After Déby had been declared winner of the elections, he launched an offensive against FACT for their part in the disruption of voting in some polling units in northern Chad. While commanding the forces on the front line, the president, Idriss Déby, was struck by enemy gunfire and eventually died as a result of his gun injuries. Idriss Déby was not the best president. He was not even a good president in my books. The only positive I can draw from him is his bravery, as he broke the norm of presidents in the 21st century, sending young men to war without being strong enough to sacrifice their own lives in the same manner. Idriss Déby's demise raised questions about the country's political stability and power transition, but all doubts were brought to rest when Déby's son, General Muhammad Idriss Déby, seized power for himself and dissolved both the democratic government and the constitution. Chad might just be living in an alternate timeline, with a president that fights on the front line of military operations, to his son claiming power for himself after his father's death, practically turning the country into a monarchy.